Hello students, welcome to Noble Digital class. We look forward to your utmost attention and dedication towards your class at your Noble platform. Using of technology in excess may be harmful for your physical and mental health. To reduce its aftermath, yoga and meditation is recommended. Students should practice these regularly. Please watch the video for 30 to 40 minutes only. Then take 5 to 10 minutes break. Close your eyes and recall the content taught by your teacher. This short break will be quite relaxing for your eyes.
Good morning, students. This is Prajapati, and I welcome you all into again Noble Digital classes. Guys, the chapter number 2, Long Walk to Freedom, we have completed now, and now we need to revise the entire chapter having few main points. So you can see in front of you on screen that as in revision, the main points I have selected and all main points are mentioned here. So reciting and just reading them, we have to revise the entire chapter, right? So and be careful and concentrate yourself to have these main points, because now something whatever possibility is that you have missed, but this is the time you can recall those points which have been missed by you, right? So, the before I start the point number one, I just recall you that this chapter is an extract taken from an autobiography of Nelson Mandela. Autobiography, the person who writes about himself. So here, Mr. Nelson Mandela has written his own biography, and this chapter has been taken from that autobiography, right? So this is an extract, and in that autobiography named Long Walk to Freedom, as by the name we understand that it's a long walk to get their freedom. So yes, we know that how it was a long walk, and how they got their freedom, and what happened into the country. So we know that in South Africa, there was a policy of apartheid, and that was a harsh and inhumane, right? It was, the extraordinary human disaster. Such terms has been used by Nelson Mandela here. So that time was very harsh time for South Africans, especially black ones, how all those black people were suffering more than 300 years, right? So it was a long walk. So for 3 centuries they were fighting, and finally on 10th May 1994 they actually achieved their real freedom. And on the day how Nelson Mandela was celebrating that day among all the civilians or all the citizens of South Africa, right? So this is the lesson about. So let us start the first point. Uh, you can see here Nelson Mandela swears in as the first black president on of South Africa on 10th May 1994. So this is the day on which he was taking an oath in the ceremony. So swears in, he was taking oath. He was not only one, but he was with his daughter Janani, and then two more people were there, first deputy president, second deputy president, right? So they all were taking oath, and the day was 10th May 1994. You have to remember this day, right? So, next is the swearing in ceremony took place in lovely sandstone amphitheater in Pretoria. Pretoria, the place, sandstone amphitheater, that buildings were made of sandstone, limestone, right? So, amphitheater, that open theater, open part where the such grand and big ceremonies take place. So, this was the place, and he addressed the rainbow gathering with a jest, telling that never, never, and never again should it be that beautiful land would experience the oppression of one by another. So at the very first page we have read the speech, right? And the news headline, the brief news article which was published in news BBC newspaper. So in that and in his own speech, how he promised all those South Africans that how it was the day of rainbow gathering, and with a jest, with an excitement, he was telling that never again should it be that the beautiful land would experience the oppression one by another. So far in South Africa, it was a very dark time, right? Operation, that means the torturing. So far in South Africa, it was a great torturing by white ones to black one, and how black people were suffering. So after this long tenure, Mandela was making a promise to all those Africans that from then onwards, this country would not have the same experience which was their past, which was in their past, right? So he was giving a commitment, and he was making assured all those Africans that whatever has happened, forget it about, but think of the future, and in future I promise you all not to repeat the same, right, with anyone. Okay, so that was, so this was the operation. That means that the torturing, black peoples were tortured by white one, right? That is. And point number three, see, he addressed the, sorry, three has been done. So, number four, and he wished that freedom in Africa should reign. So his last, in speech, that sentence was that he wished that let freedom reign. He said his same, the quote or the sentence was. So he wished that freedom in Africa should reign. That means should rule. Freedom will remain forever, right? In South Africa, that was his commitment. Point number five, you can see the army officials who could have caught, have and put him in jail before saluting him to pay respect to the newly born democracy. So this was the reality he actually expressed on the day that he talked about those army officials who could have caught, have and put him in jail before were saluting. Mean he was sharing the previous experience that when he was not he was a common civilian of South Africa, and actually he was the black one. So the officers, the bureaucracy he was talking about, army officials, actually those army officials caught him and put him into the jail, right? But the same officers, right? The same officers, same bureaucracy, and same officials at that time were saluting him, and they were paying respect to the newly born democracy, because he was the man, he was the face of new democracy, he was the president of the newborn South Africa. Why newborn? Because now it was free from all discriminations or the apartheid, the name policy was in country, right? So this experience he shared here, that the same officers previously arrested him, but right now they were giving their tribute and their respect to the newly born democracy and to to Nelson Mandela himself, right? So that is, and next is point number six. The two national anthems were sung at the time of his swearing in ceremony. Two national anthems were sung. Two national anthems. First was of black one, and second one was of white ones. So for both communities, for both people, actually, it's a part of equal or equality, right? To show the equality, that now it was the time of the democracy, and in that newborn democracy there was no discrimination, no policy of apartheid, all were same, equal, right, regardless of color and skin. That commitment he made. So to show this equality, both of the communities' national anthems were sung on the day at that time during the swearing ceremony, right? Oath taking ceremony. Okay, so that was. There would be a question like that, why two national anthems were sung on the day, because to show the equality and to show that now it was the newborn democracy, right? And in that newborn democracy everyone was equal, same, right? That is next point. See, he recalls the back history. He recalls the back history and pays homage to national martyrs who sacrificed, their lives for the sake of motherland. Who sacrificed their lives for the sake of motherland. So he is recalling. Just again, he is, reminding, or he is just thinking about all those, the national martyrs or the freedom fighters, right? How they actually fought their country and how they had given their lives for the country. So about the history, Nelson Mandela was giving a big tribute, or he was paying homage. Homage is tribute, right, to the national martyrs who sacrificed their lives for the sake of their motherland, for their country. How they had given their life, they sacrificed their life, and they fought for their life. And the sentence he commented there, that he was the sum of all those African patriots. So we do have a question here, that why he called himself that he was the sum of, because he was one of them, right? Actually, he was not taking the credit of all those efforts which were made all together. Why by all together? It was not only one man work, but all together, all national martyrs fought for the country, and he was actually leading that success ahead, right? And he was only following, he was just taking the success, the next, for the country, and he was actually serving for the country, right? So that he called here, and he said here that he was the sum of all those African patriots. That means it was the joint effort, and he was one of them. He did nothing. All people all together fought for the country, right? And the success which they have got was the fruit of all those efforts, not only of himself. That is right. Next, he tells he tells that martyrs were the men of extraordinary. He tells that martyrs were the men of extraordinary courage and wisdom and generosity. How he was reminding all those patriots, and he mentioned, he actually named all those martyrs, that for 5 to 6% of the people, he mentioned the name over there. And those men of extraordinary courage, extraordinary exceptional courage they had, and wisdom and generosity, and having these skills or ingredients, they actually fought for the country. And now how they earned their dignity for the country. And on the day how Mandela was recalling all those martyrs, right? Because of these skills, right? Next, the country of South Africa is rich in minerals and gems, but the greatest wealth of country is its people. What a big line he mentioned there, right? That the country of South Africa is rich. No doubt the country is rich in minerals, right? And gems, right? But minerals and gems, he is talking that under the earth, whatever we have, such minerals, or mines there are. Okay, so diamonds and so on, such the gold or silver, like whatever we fetch, from under the ground. So he was saying that the country's richness belongs to the minerals and gems. Yes, all know, but the greatest wealth, the biggest wealth of country is its people. He believed in people, that once we take care of our people, and we think that our people are actually the rich, the wealth of the country, then we will get extraordinary success, right? So that was the big thing. He was talking about all people. Now, no, actually the difference, or the discrimination, like such words were, none, nothing was there. Now all were equal. So he believed that country's greatest real wealth was country's people. Okay, that is, so this is point number 9. See point number 10. Okay, he tells no one is born hating. He tells no one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin or his background or his religion. Right. One more thing he mentioned there, that why we talk about such social evils. There we hate someone, right, and we kill someone, and how we do create such kind of things, right? So no one is born hating another person. Actually, why do we hate? It comes later on. There are some circumstances or the conditions, situations, or reasons behind that, and because of the color of skin or his background or his religion. But he was saying that no one is born hating another person because of the color of skin or his background or his religion. So by birth, actually when we take birth and we come into the world, so from that time, actually from our skin or background or religion, we do not hate each other. But these things come later on when we become young, and when we are in the world, exist, when we exist, then such things come, and we actually give importance to those things. But from the birth, right, these things are nowhere. That is, so that was the reality. Next, if people learn to hate, they can be taught to love. So now, as he was talking, that hate comes later, right? And actually, due to the circumstances or the situation, we start hating people. Okay, we start hating people because it's a deliberate action. Just think, hate and love. Hate is a deliberate action because we intentionally, we deliberately create this thing, and we hate someone due to any reason, right? And love is natural. He said that love is natural, they can be taught to love. So he said that people learn to be, if people learn to hate, they can be taught to love too. So that means how the deliberate action hate is coming into them, but they are not learning love, because love is natural. He said love is natural, so don't talk about the love, but just talk about hate. Mean here, Nelson Mandela wants that actually we need to find out the reasons why we hate other people, why this social level came into us, why we are hating anyone, right? This is that we need to learn to hate, right? It's a deliberate action. We hate someone. So if it's a deliberate action, then we can find the reasons also. And if we find the reasons, that means we are actually learning the process of hating. And if we learn, then yes, automatically love or this another, the point will come into us naturally, because love is natural. Okay, that is point number 12. He talks that man's goodness is a flame that can be hidden but never exhausted. He says that men's goodness, now he was talking about common men or common people, or as he was, right? So men's goodness, a man is good, it is like, is a flame. Yes, he is a flame. Like flame, that means yes, they have anger, and they have that kind of feeling to fight for the country, right? So they have energy. So it is hidden, right? So that flame can be hidden but never exhausted. That means you can't control that flame. Yes, that can be hidden for a moment, but one day it will come in existence, right? So this is man's goodness. That means there is a limit. There is a limit. So up to that limit, you can hide the man's goodness, right? But later on, when it will cross its limit, it will be beyond its limits, this will be in the existence, or this will appear. So it never exhausted. Okay, that is. See, he talks about he talks about obligations, very common and popular question of this chapter. He talks about twin obligations right here, that duties, right, that common duties. So he talks about the twin obligation towards his family and obligations towards his nation. So he says that every man has two obligations, two duties. One is towards his family and second is towards his country. And while discharging his duties, he found he was not free. But in South Africa, this was not possible, because when he tried to fulfill his duties, then he felt himself that he was not free. So that was the main thing. And when at that time he got to know that the civilians, and even he talked about himself first, that he was not free, and not only he but his brothers and sisters, nobody was free at that time, right? So see, hence he joined national African National Congress, and hence at the end, as a result or consequences, when he got to know that nobody was free, then he joined the political party African National Congress, right? And that Congress, that party fought for the freedom of his country. So he joined and he started to fight for the country's freedom, right? He needed a platform, and so that he joined that party, African National Congress, as we do have in our country Congress, BJP and Ch.2 and so on, different political parties. The same was in South Africa, African National Congress. So he joined that party and he started to fight for the country, right? Next point 15, he knew the oppressor must be liberated, and just as surely as the oppressed. Listen, this is very important. Why important? Because in his last, the at the end, in his speech, the last sentence or the last commitment, actually the commitment we can say, because in this commitment he was talking about both of the communities, right? And it was needed, it was necessary, because for 3 centuries, for a long time, how black people were fighting for their freedom against white one, and now it was the time of democracy and all were happy. Now it was the equal time, right? All were same. So black and white, there was no discrimination so far. So at that time, he was talking about both of the communities, black ones and white ones. Else you can think and imagine that if he will address about only, if he addressed about only black one, then the same scenario would be there. Same. So previously black people were fighting, and the next onwards, white people would start their fighting. Then where the democracy, and where the new things are, the liberty, like. So he was talking about the oppressor and oppressed. Oppressor, that who was torturing, who were torturing the white one, and oppressed, that means the person who was tortured, and who was that, the black one. So he knew that oppressor must be liberated. He gave one theory here, that he knew that oppressor, that the torture, the one who tortures, right? So the oppressor must be liberated. First of all, we need to talk to the person, to the white one, that why they are torturing, reason behind that we need to find out. Listen, somewhere we see that the two people are fighting, right? That one man is dominating to the another one. Okay, so first of all, what we have to do to stop their fighting and to clear their differences, we need to talk to the first one who is dominating over the second one, that why he is fighting and the reasons behind that. If we fetch the proper reasons and we clear those reasons, then automatically fight will be stopped, right? So here he said that we need to talk first of all about the oppressor, about the torturer, or about the white one, that what are the reasons they are doing so, why they are doing so, right? So that means we need to give the liberty, the freedom, first of all to the oppressor, because he is also not free. He is also behind the bars of hatred, prejudice and narrow mindedness. These three social evils, right? These three qualities, we can say, not qualities, they are evils, right? So these the three things are, if someone is having these things, right? Like he is not free actually. In Mandela's word, he is not free actually. Why he is not free? Because he is behind the bars of, first of all, hatred, right? That means he is hating someone. Number two, narrow mindedness, that he has no, wide thinking, that means, and next is prejudice, that means he has, the feeling of disliking others. Why he does not like anyone? So these three things we need to fetch, and we need to clear from the torturer, the oppressor, that why he is doing so. So mean we need to liberate the oppressor, we need to free the oppressor, the torturer. And torturer who were white one. So here, using this sentence, he was talking about the white communities, that yes, we will talk about white communities, that what do they want. Democracy it is, na. In democracy we need to talk about everyone, we can't leave a single one also. So he was just saying to the white ones that you do not feel offended. Yes, the country, the new democratic country will talk to everyone. Now the country is of, the country is listening of all, that is okay. So he said that we need to liberate the oppressor just as surely as the oppressed. Yes, the liberty has been given to the oppressed, the torturer also, the tortured person also, that means the black one also. Yes, everybody is talking about the freedom of the black one. Black one, yes, that is obviously we need to provide that freedom to the one. But the important thing, we need to provide the liberty to the white one also, the oppressor also, that why he is doing so. This is the theory at the end, he said. And the last sentence, see, last sentence, it is also important. The oppressor and oppressed are alike, are robbed of their humanity. So thus, in that way, that oppressor, first of all, he is also behind the bars of hatred. That means somewhere he has reason, so that he is dominating the black one. And the black one, they have also their own reasons, and so that they are, not liked by those oppressor. So both of the people, black one and white one, they both are actually same, they are alike, they are sailing in the same boat, and they both are robbing of their humanity. Okay, they both are robbing, actually they both are snatching their humanity, each other's humanity. So Nelson Mandela said at the end that we need to fetch actually the reasons of both communities. Okay, and we need to provide the liberty to both of them, the oppressor and oppressed, white ones and black ones. Okay, so guys, this is, the chapter having all those main points. I hope now you understood everything about the chapter, and possibilities were there that you missed so many things in the chapter, but now I expect that everything has been recalled, and now it is into your mind. In the next class, guys, we will discuss the question answers of the same chapter, and those questions will make you very comfortable, I hope. So until then, thank you so much. Bye bye. Stay safe. Stay healthy.